I've wanted to do an exclusively pallet wood project for a while, and also had a bit of a hankering for carving. And since watching my friend Timber by Mark on Twitch, I've been watching him make some ball and claw feet, which is kind of a 18th century design used at the bottom of legs and feet on particular tables like Chippendale furniture. So I cut all the pieces, and they're already fairly square on their edges, so I just decided to glue them up. I set them in a clamp for a day, and then pulled them out the next day, and then planed them on their faces just to get them nice and flat. I used winding sticks where I needed to take the twist out of them. It didn't take too long. I just slapped a load of glue on there again. I'm using Type Bond here for that one. Once again, I left them for 24 hours to dry. Made sure to clamp them up nice and tight. I found this pattern online from Mary May's website, kind of a template which I enlarged using my printer. Then I just traced it onto the wood and cut out all the sections that I could. There's lots of big sections to cut out, and in hindsight I probably could have just glued them on in a kind of L shape and then had less to cut out. Then I wouldn't have had to bother cutting out this massive chunk that I did just there. After most of the waste was taken away, I could then work on chiselling. I had to sharpen this chisel a bit. You can see the difference from left to right, the roughed bit and the bit after sharpening, just there. Then I used my gouge to try and take away these pieces. In hindsight, I think I probably should have used my bench chisel again in this way that I'm using this one here, because I got lots of tear out in the way I was using it before, but I thought I could get away with it, but no. Pallet wood is not very forgiving, unfortunately. At the bottom of it, I used the template again to figure out where the lines had to be, and this really helps you work out where the claws come in and where the ball kind of shapes down towards the bottom of the foot. Pallet wood can be really nice to carve in areas because it's, it's just pine, so it's a really soft wood, but that does mean that it's very prone to splitting and splintering, so you really have to watch the grain direction. And then of course if you're cutting downwards like I am with the ball there, you have to make sure to angle the cuts downwards. And then figured out where the claws had to go at the bottom and cut off most of the waste with a saw, and then I could figure out the rest with a chisel. A lot of this I didn't really follow the directions, but rather just kept referencing the pictures and figuring out what had to be cut off and what didn't have to be cut off. I suppose that's the point of carving, really, just taking away material to get the desired shape. I was actually originally going to use this as a doorstop, but then I found out quite quickly, which I should have expected at the start, that the pallet wood was not heavy enough to be a doorstop, and I didn't want to put any material inside it. I did try to put stones and things inside it, but I didn't really want to do that, so instead I decided at this point to turn it into a lamp. And as for the lampshade, I didn't really have any particular ideas, but I liked the angular designs that I saw online, so I decided to go a bit abstract with the top part of it. Whether it was a good idea or not, I don't know, but it's kind of a bizarre looking thing, and it's kind of got an abstract top with a very classical carved looking bottom. Just cutting out sections there, like you would cut out a door hinge kind of, to fit in the kind of pieces that hold the shades, hold the shade parts. Thinking that it could probably use a touch of something about it, I decided to paint the claw black and tape off all the parts where the ball was. I thought that might look cool, so that's what I did. That was quite satisfying, pulling that tape off, revealing the wood underneath. And then at this point, all I knew was I wanted to have a kind of abstract looking angular frame, so I just did it piece by piece. First of all, I added these two parts, which were to act as kind of rails to hold all the pieces together. Then, as you can see, I'm just marking it off piece by piece, adding the angles as I go, gluing them on there, taking out little pieces of the wood to act as lap joints. And that was just the plan all along. Then to fix the supports for the shade a bit more, I cut off some bamboo skewers that you would use for like a barbecue, just to nail those inside there. I got that idea from a lemongrass picker video. Excellent YouTuber, you should watch him for sure. And this is when I had all the pieces cut and worked out. I was just gluing them on one by one, getting them in there and clamping them on there. Took a while to do those angles, but it was quite fun. Then I just sealed it all with some varnish. Went over the paint with some varnish as well, just to give it a nice kind of shiny finished look. The matte look was quite nice as well, but I don't know, I felt like it needed a shiny varnished finish, so that's what I went for. I also used an old lamp to get the lamp parts from to make this lamp. So all in all, I worked the cost out at around £5 for the varnish, the paint, and the fancy little bulb that I bought from Amazon for about £4. And I flick the light on and, you know, it's a bit strange, it's kind of bizarre, but it is a carving from pallet wood, and I'm quite glad that I was able to carve that from pallet wood, even though it's rough, and I know next time, if I did it again, I would do a better job. But, you know, these projects are all about learning sometimes, and this was a bit of fun. It's going to kind of sit in the man cave. But thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully I will catch you again next time.